Are we being underserved and overprescribed by the healthcare system? I think we are. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for being here today. I mentioned in my video last week that I was thinking of doing a video on healthcare, and it may be very controversial, but I'm doing it anyhow, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I mean, it's okay if we disagree. We all come from different places and have different beliefs and different situations, medical situations. So I'm just going to talk about where I'm coming from. And I totally respect that you may be at a completely different place. First, I want to start off with a disclaimer that, well, obviously, I'm not a doctor or anything in the medical field. I'm not a professional at all. I'm just a person that has very strong feelings on doctors and the whole medical system. In no way am I giving medical advice to anyone. I mean, don't ever listen to anyone on medical advice unless you choose to listen to your healthcare provider. But a lay person, no. That's not advice. That's just their thoughts and their opinions. Now, I have to start off by saying I have never doctored. Well, I can't say I've never been to a doctor, but I'm not a doctor person. That's the way I was raised. My parents didn't go to the doctor. We weren't taken to the doctor. And fortunately, we didn't have to be because none of us were ill. So that worked out great. But my mother especially did not believe in doctoring. She's always been of the belief that fresh air and sunshine is God's free medicine, and that that's the answer to everything. She didn't believe in aspirins of any kind, no Tylenol, Advil. I never even heard the word aspirin growing up. We've never had them in our home. So because of the way I was raised, that probably has a lot to do with how I feel about the medical community. Now, I will say, I go once a year to get my annual Medicare wellness check, and I only see the PA. I will see a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner. I will not see a doctor. I know when many people call to get an appointment with a doctor and they can't get in right away, like he could be booked for 2 months, and they'll say, but you can see the PA. And a lot of people don't like that. They want to see the doctor. I'm the exact opposite. I don't want to see the doctor at all. I request the PA. I just find them more relatable, more open-minded, easier to talk to. They spend so much more time with you than the doctor does. So that's why I go that route. You know, it used to be doctors really cared about their patients. And I'm not saying they don't care anymore, but because so much has changed, they don't have the time. They have to get you in and get you out within 15 minutes. They're not really listening when you're talking to them. They're sitting in front of a computer taking notes because everything's computerized now. So they're documenting and just kind of and they hand you a couple prescriptions and out the door you go, usually feeling very unsatisfied and like you were kind of blown off. The reason for this type of behavior is because I think about 80%, I think that's what I read, 80% of doctors are now owned by big business, big healthcare corporations. They've lost their autonomy and their integrity. And it's like they don't have a choice. I can remember years ago, if someone went in a hospital, your doctor would come in every day and he would be the one treating you and making decisions and everything. And now, from what I understand, they have what is called hospitalists. I hope I said that right. But that's a hospital doctor. And they take over your care. Well, they don't know who you are. They don't know you at all. They have no relationship with you, no rapport with you. I would not like that at all. I want to avoid hospitals at all costs. I feel like in today's world that doctors do not see and treat us as individuals. They go by what the pharmaceutical companies and the government says, and they follow a certain protocol. I don't like that either, because we're all different. We all need different types of care and treatments or medications or whatever. I don't want somebody following the government guidelines or what the pharmaceuticals say that I should take. That just doesn't work for me, and I think it causes more harm than good. Unfortunately, it's just come down to it's a big money-making machine now. That's all that it is, and that's very sad. Now, if I could find a functional medicine doctor in my area, I would go if I had a problem. But I don't have any in my area. And from what I understand, a functional medicine doctor treats the whole body, and they look for the root cause. That's what I would want. I don't want somebody to just order a bunch of tests and then fill my hands with a bunch of prescriptions for a bunch of pills that counteract each other and end up being worse than the problem you went in there for. I don't want that. I want somebody to care enough and be concerned enough that they're going to look for the root cause of whatever my problem may be. So I stay away from the healthcare system. I'm not saying they're all bad. There are good doctors, bad doctors, good and bad in everything. It's just the way the system is now. It's just too money driven for me. And I think they're great in acute situations. I mean, if you have to go, you have to go. If you break a leg or have a heart attack, then you have to go. And I think it can be pretty amazing in an acute situation. But for chronic and preventative medicine and situations, I think they're lousy, and there's no way I want any part of that. I don't trust doctors anymore. I don't trust the whole system. I think they way overprescribe their patients, and especially seniors. I mean, they could do it to younger people also, but I believe seniors are the most vulnerable because we're at that age where things are starting to happen. We get more aches and pains or stomach aches or acid reflux and just all the things that happen as you age. So I feel they are very taken advantage of. And when they walk out of that office with all those prescriptions, oh boy, no, that's not for me. I want to try to treat things myself, treat them naturally, try to get well on my own. I don't want to add more problems to what I already have. And when you read those side effects on pretty much any medication, well, my goodness, why would anybody take them? I mean, it says everything except this could cause death. Well, some of them probably say that too. You know, it can make you hot or it can make you cold. You can be severely constipated or severe diarrhea. It's just, come on. I mean, no, I don't like the list of all those side effects, and it's just not worth it to me. Now, everything I'm saying, I'm telling you from my point of view and how I feel. So please, if you go to the doctor pretty regularly, or if you take a lot of medications, please don't be offended. That's not the purpose of this video at all. We all have to do what we have to do, and we all have different conditions, and some of them may require certain medications that you can't get away from. I mean, you have to take them. And I understand that, and if that's your choice, that's fine. But you know, I'll give you one short example. Dave, you all know that he has prostate cancer, and it has returned, and it is now in the bone. Fortunately, it's just in the right hip, so that's a good thing. So because his chemo stopped working, they've started him on a new chemo. It's a pill that he takes a couple times a day. But yes, there are side effects. Well, one of the side effects is it can really raise your blood sugar. Well, he's a type 2 diabetic, and he has been on metformin for about a year now to keep his levels under control, and he's been doing great. Well, his levels started going up, so they increased the metformin. I think they doubled the dose. Even with the double dose of metformin, and he is very careful and very good about how he eats. He doesn't cheat. He stays away from sugar. He eats healthy. His sugar is up to 375. So it's not because of how he's eating. It's because that chemo pill is causing his sugar to go way up. So now what do? You know, it's just, you really have to do a lot of research and make some personal decisions for yourself. In many cases, the cure can be worse than the disease that you're dealing with. So you have to take that into mind too. There is just so much I want to say. My brain is just overflowing. I might have to make a part 2 on this. But I'll try to just cover one other thing in order to not make this video too long. And that is screenings. I also think screenings are overdone because it's a big money-making thing, in my opinion. I'll give you one example, and that's colonoscopies. Now, the guidelines used to be once you turn 50, you should get a colonoscopy, and then I think every 10 years. Now they've dropped that down to starting at 45. I don't know if they've lengthened or shortened the amount of time between the colonoscopies. I don't have that information. This girl has never had a colonoscopy, and she never will. I don't believe in that. It's too invasive of a test. There's other ways to screen for certain conditions, and I will do that, like Cologuard. I'll do that because that's not invasive. I will not do a colonoscopy. I used to work in a medical office that I managed, and I've read the paperwork for a colonoscopy, and they can perforate your bowel. Now, I'm not saying there's a high chance of that. I don't know what the percentage is. But that paperwork said this procedure can result in your death. Whether it's still worded that way or not, I don't know. And many people don't read all that paperwork. But if you do, most likely it still says that. Now, sometimes you have no choice but to get a colonoscopy. If you're having symptoms, bleeding and other symptoms, there's been a change and you know it, then yes, I guess you would have to have one. But to do a routine screening, why? They say if colon cancer does not run in your family, you have less than a 3% chance of getting colon cancer. So why would I do something so invasive, maybe risk perforating my bowel, because I don't have colon cancer that runs in my family? So there's just a lot to think about before you just do what these doctors tell you to do. Mine tells me once a year, and again, I do see the nurse practitioner, but she's got the guidelines in the sheet for Medicare, and she goes down the list and says, have you had this screening, that screening, a bone density screening, a colonoscopy, and on and on. I say no, 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 and the answer is still no. I will not do it. I won't. I just don't believe in it. And the reason I say, I just don't trust the whole medical establishment anymore. They changed their mind. At least from what I hear. Now, I don't know much. I don't sit around and research everything. But from what I hear, it used to be your cholesterol, the HDL should be this number, and the LDL should be this number, and that was it. Now I'm hearing that's all wrong information. It's all been changed. People are on blood thinners and statins to bring down cholesterol when they shouldn't be, because they have new research and new proof that what they said in the past is not true anymore. There's a lot of misinformation on diabetes as well. So everything people were told and taught before, now it's all changed. So what do you believe? And it makes you wonder, why does it change? I feel like these pharmaceutical companies and these big medical corporations are just all in cahoots, and it's all about making money. And I'm not going to allow that to happen at my expense. I'm doing my own research. If something comes up, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to go the natural route. I'm not going to jump into taking all these tests and taking pills and all that other stuff. Just is not going to happen for me. So anyhow, I think this might have sounded a little bit like a rant. It's just, I'm very strong in my beliefs and how I feel. We each have to do what we think is best for us. Everything is a gamble. If you take the treatment, you're taking a gamble. If you don't take the treatment, you're taking a gamble. So, nobody is God except God. Nobody knows the answer. So you just have to make the decision that you are most comfortable with. But I am very, very anti-medical for me. So how do you feel about all this? Do you feel like I do? Are you anti-medical? I know I got some comments in my previous video when I said I was going to do a healthcare video, and a couple of the comments said, oh my gosh, I stay away from doctors at all costs. I'm not going to them. I won't go to them, and things like that. So I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And again, if you're in a different situation, an acute situation, then you have to. I mean, I understand that. And some medications are life-saving for some people, and I understand that too. But just these standards put everybody over 65 on high blood pressure pills, cholesterol pills, this pill, that pill. No, I don't buy it. I'll try to take care of it myself. And that's just the way I am. So leave me a comment and let me know how you feel. I would love to get a good conversation going about this. Maybe we can help each other. And again, there may be a part 2 to this because I could go on for another hour. I won't put you through that today. Now, I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today comes from Jeremiah 17:14. Heal me, Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved, for you are the one I praise. I chose that passage because that is something that I do first and foremost. I'm going to ask God to heal me. I'm going to pray for healing. I'm going to look at Him as He is, the great physician, the great healer. And that's where I'm going to start. Now, does that mean that He's going to heal everything that comes my way or your way? No. We can't question why. We all have an expiration date, and we don't know what it is or what it's going to come from. We have no idea. Sometimes we're put through trials and tests because there's a reason behind it. It's for our good, but at the time, we don't understand it. Like, I don't know, if I got sick or found out I had a disease, well, maybe that could be a great growing season for me in my faith and trust in God. You know, I would rely on Him and I would learn something. I would learn a valuable lesson that I needed to learn. So I tend to look at it that way. Now, I believe that many things are from God. I believe that's why we have doctors. God created them. The medical technology and things that are available. I believe all that is from God. But I also believe that through prayer, through talking to God, through common sense, that we can figure some of these things out. Just because God created doctors doesn't mean that we should believe everything they say and run to them with every little ache and pain. He also created the sun and the fresh air, which, as I told you, my mother believed that was the medicine to take for anything. We all have different beliefs, but I'm just sharing that for me, I'm going to start with prayer. I'm going to ask for healing, and I'm going to trust and believe that I will get it. And if I need to go to a hospital or something, then I believe God will be with me, and He will guide the hands of anybody that treats me. And He'll give me the insight to know that I have to go for whatever the reason is. Other than that, I'm staying right here and doing the best I can to take care of myself. I thank you so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.